Does being a heavy favorite add any extra pressure on the Lakers?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have any pressure on the Lakers, in my opinion, ultimately because they know what it is. No one has ever gone into any playoff series talking about, hey, do you know what Vegas is saying? You know, these games are played between these lines, and ultimately the Miami Heat, Jimmy is right, they are not underdogs. This is a team, they have the exact same record. They took down the team with the best record in the MVP in Giannis. They took down a very, very talented Boston team, and they did all of that very, very easily, in my opinion. They were tough games, but they did it very, very easily. So they're not walking in here thinking that they're underdogs.
I agree with RJ. I don't think they feel any pressure. I think, if anything, AD may press a little bit because this is his opportunity on the big stage to show that he is a superstar and he wants to be here year after year, and he deserves to be here, and he can perform at this level. But I think Rondo's been here before, Danny Green has been here before, and of course, LeBron has been here 10 times now, 9 times prior. So, they're not rattled at all. I don't think they're rattled.
Think about what Vince just said. 10 finals. LeBron lives at the finals. If the Lakers are thinking about the Vegas odds, something is wrong. They have no more pressure on them because of the odds. They know what's at stake. LeBron doesn't have infinite chances left to get that 4th or maybe 5th ring, however many he gets. It's Frank Vogel's first finals as a head coach. It's Anthony Davis's first finals as a superstar player. The pressure is already there. They've been living in a bubble for 3 months. The pressure's already there. They know what's at stake. And to Vince's point, this is a veteran team who knows how to deal with that kind of pressure. And I agree with RJ. The Heat, I mean, they're 12-3 in the playoffs. They faced arguably a tougher slate of opponents to get here than the Lakers did. Like the Lakers, they know what they're facing. This is a real test.
Absolutely. And look, I know Jimmy is kind of trying to throw some pressure on the Lakers, right? I mean, that is part of why you heard that from him today. He wants them thinking about the fact that they're the heavy favorites, that they're supposed to win. It's kind of a little bit what the Nuggets did to the Clippers, right? In the middle of that series, be like, hey, they're supposed to win. They're up 3-1. All the pressure's on them. We are hearing that from the Heat right now. Kind of a little gamesmanship before the NBA Finals. Nothing wrong with that. I do want to get to what's happening with the other LA team, guys, because the Clippers and Doc Rivers parted ways yesterday. The team said in a statement that Rivers and owner Steve Ballmer, quote, reached a mutual decision for Rivers to step down after 7 seasons. The Clippers, disappointingly, as I just mentioned, blew that 3-1 lead to the Nuggets in the Western Conference semis. Here's what Doc Rivers said in a statement, quote, thank you, Clipper Nation, for allowing me to be your coach and for all your support in helping make this a winning franchise. When I took this job, my goals were to make this a winning basketball program, a free agent destination, bring a championship to this organization. While I was able to accomplish most of my goals, I won't be able to see them all through. Though it was a disappointing ending to our season, you are right there, and I know what this team is capable of accomplishing with your support. So, Vince, I appreciate that the Clippers said in a statement that it was mutual, but that doesn't sound like a man who is just leaving this job voluntarily. What is your reaction to the news?
He was the fall guy. And it's unfortunate in situations like this, coaches are the fall guy. And sometimes it's not warranted. You always look higher up and say, hey, you put this team together and, you asked me to coach this team. But, the unfortunate situation or part to this, in my opinion, is that the Clippers are right there. They're built to win now. So I think you take a step back. I don't care who you bring in because you're now having to get the chemistry and create the chemistry again, not with the players, with the coach. The coaches now the players have to understand what the coach wants or whatever. Now, if you bring in the likes of a Ty Lue, Sam Cassell, somebody who's been there, who understands, who these guys are, it's a little different. But I think right now, they were right there. They didn't play well, but look at LeBron's team when he first got to Miami. They didn't win immediately, but the next year they got it together. So I just think it's unfortunate.
Look, this is a bold move, and by all accounts I've read and heard, it was a Steve Ballmer move, and Steve Ballmer's been there longer than this current front office. He was there when they blew a 3-1 lead to the Rockets in 2015, so this is not the first 3-1 collapse he's seen, and Doc was a common thread there, but it's still a bold move. The easy move was to bring back Doc Rivers, a beloved figure in the NBA, a great motivator, someone that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard wanted to play for, someone who saw this franchise through the scandal of Donald Sterling and came out the other side. That's the easy move. Bring him back, tweak the staff, tweak on the margins. Steve Ballmer decided that wasn't going to get it done. And to Vince's point, Next year is Armageddon for the Clippers. This was a debacle in the playoffs against the Nuggets. They traded their entire future for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who can be free agents after next season. Not saying they're going to leave, but they can. Next year is Armageddon, and Steve Ballmer decided we need a fresh start. And look, that's a brave, bold move. And Doc is going to land on his feet somewhere, but that's a bold move.
Well, I don't know if I would say Armageddon, because I think both of these players wanted to be in L.A. And so, when I really look at, Steve Ballmer, you don't accomplish what this man has accomplished, personally, in business unless you're making bold moves. So this bold move doesn't surprise me that much. What I will say to all of America is there is no coaching. There is nothing that you can do to help the performance of the Los Angeles Clippers in the fourth quarter. You can't help Kawhi shoot the way he shot. You can't help Paul George shoot the way he shot in the fourth quarter. That's not coaching. That's on individual players. And so we can't let Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who we have praised all year, Kawhi Leonard did an entire Kawhi Leonard year, winning a championship and Finals MVP, which he deserved. But ultimately, those guys have to take a lot of credit for some of the failures that this team had. And don't forget about a lot of load management, which made their chemistry struggle. And that was one of the things that I think really hurt their team when things got tight.
I'm very curious to see what's next with the Clippers, because my question, anytime someone, quote, gets rid of the coach and you say fall guy Vince, and that's often in some of these situations, it's sort of like, well, we got to change something. Can't change the players. Let's change the coach. Who are you getting instead? Right? Who else is going to be that voice, and is it going to actually be better? We know who a lot of the candidates are out there. I'm curious to see who they pick. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.